Life on the Iridian planet, which they called Thalos, was a mesmerizing blend of harmony and technology. As part of the human delegation, I, Alex, found myself torn between my duties and my awe of this alien world. The Iridians were keen to share their knowledge and showed us around their planet. Their cities were a marvel of architecture, seamlessly integrated into the natural landscape. Skyscrapers made of shimmering materials rose beside lush green parks. Their technology was advanced, yet it was used in a way that respected the environment. We learned that the Iridians had once faced ecological disasters, not unlike Earth's current struggles. They had overcome these challenges by developing sustainable technologies and a deep respect for their planet's ecosystem. It was an eye-opener for us, a glimpse into what Earth could achieve if we made the right choices. Dr. Singh and I were particularly interested in their use of energy. The Iridians harnessed power from natural sources, something similar to our solar and wind energy, but far more efficient. They also had technology that could clean and recycle air and water, something that could be revolutionary on Earth. Despite their advancements, I noticed a certain melancholy among the Iridians. When I inquired, they hesitantly shared stories of a time when their world was on the brink of collapse due to overexploitation and conflicts. It was a dark era they called the Great Reckoning. They had learned from their mistakes, but the scars remained. As days turned into weeks, our delegation focused on building a partnership with the Iridians. We discussed potential technology exchanges and collaborations. The Earth's leaders were especially interested in their energy and environmental technologies. I found myself spending time with an Iridian named Lyra, a scientist who shared my passion for astronomy. She showed me their observatories, equipped with telescopes far more advanced than anything on Earth. Together, we gazed at the stars, sharing stories of our respective planets. However, amidst the exchange of knowledge and friendship, I couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. The Iridians were generous, but there was a cautiousness in their approach. They were wary, perhaps rightly so, of our intentions. They had shown us the ruins of ancient civilizations on their planet, a reminder of what could happen if power was misused. As the human delegation prepared to return to Earth, I knew our relationship with the Iridians was just beginning. There were vast opportunities for mutual growth and learning, but there was also the potential for misunderstanding and conflict. I hoped that humanity would approach this new relationship with the same respect and wisdom the Iridians had shown us. Leaving Thalos, I looked back at the shimmering planet, a world so different yet so similar to ours. I wondered about the future, about the role Alex, would play in this interstellar relationship. The journey back to Earth was filled with contemplation, both of the wonders I had witnessed and the challenges that lay ahead. Back on Earth, the atmosphere was far different from the peaceful serenity of Thalos. The news of our successful contact with the Iridians had caused a global sensation. Governments, corporations, and the public were eager to learn about the alien technology and the potential benefits it could bring. In the midst of this excitement, I couldn't shake off the feeling of unease that had started on Thalos. As debriefings and meetings filled my days, I began to notice subtle hints of something more sinister beneath the surface. It became clear that Earth's leaders were less interested in cultural exchange and more in what the Iridians could offer us technologically, particularly their advanced environmental and energy solutions. Discussions I was privy to hinted at plans to exploit these technologies, with little regard for the Iridians' generosity or the ethical implications. I felt a growing sense of disillusionment. The project that had started as a dream of exploration and mutual understanding was being overshadowed by greed and short-sightedness. I voiced my concerns to some of my colleagues, but they were either dismissive or too entangled in political agendas to listen. The turning point came when I overheard a confidential meeting. High-ranking officials were discussing a strategy to pressure the Iridians into sharing their technology, even if it meant using diplomatic leverage. The idea of exploiting a civilization that had narrowly escaped its own destruction for our gain was appalling to me. I realized then that I couldn't stay silent. I reached out to Maria and Dr. Singh, who had shared my experiences on Thalos. They too were disturbed by the direction things were taking. We decided to act, to somehow remind Earth's leaders of the real value of our relationship with the Iridians. We started by leaking information about the true intentions behind Earth's diplomatic efforts. The public response was immediate and powerful. Protests erupted, calling for ethical treatment of our new alien allies. We also contacted some of the more sympathetic officials and diplomats, urging them to consider the long-term consequences of exploiting the Iridians. Our actions, however, did not go unnoticed. I was reprimanded and watched closely, my every move scrutinized. But it didn't deter me. I knew that what we were doing was right. The Iridians had shown us a path to a better future, one that didn't involve repeating the mistakes of our past. As tensions grew between the various factions on Earth, I couldn't help but wonder about the Iridians' perspective. They had been cautious, perhaps foreseeing this very situation. I hoped that we could still salvage the relationship, that the vision of a shared future wasn't lost. The chapter closed with me, Alex, no longer just a software engineer or a member of an interstellar diplomatic mission, but as a whistleblower standing at a crossroads. The path ahead was uncertain, but I was determined to fight for what I believed in a future built on respect, understanding, and genuine cooperation, not exploitation and greed. The situation on Earth was becoming increasingly complex. My stance against the exploitation of the Iridians had garnered both support and criticism. Some hailed me as a champion of ethical diplomacy, while others viewed me as a traitor to humanity's interests. Amidst this turmoil, I received an invitation to return to Thalos. The Iridians, aware of the growing tension on Earth, sought to understand our intentions better. I saw this as an opportunity to mend the fraying ties between our worlds. Returning to Thalos felt different this time. The warm welcome was replaced by a polite but reserved reception. Lyra, the Iridian scientist I had befriended, expressed her people's concerns. "We have observed your world, Alex," she said. "Your potential for great good is shadowed by your propensity for greed and conflict." During my stay, I participated in several discussions with Iridian leaders and scholars. They were curious about Earth's political and social structures, our history of conflict, and our environmental struggles. I shared as honestly as I could, trying to paint a picture of a planet striving for betterment, despite its flaws. The Iridians shared more of their history with me. They had once been a divided world, plagued by wars over resources and power. It was only after facing near extinction that they united to rebuild their society on principles of sustainability and cooperation. Their caution towards us was born from their own painful experiences. Back on Earth, the debates raged on. There were factions advocating for aggressive tactics to secure Iridian technology, believing it was vital for Earth's survival. Others, influenced by our leaked information and growing public support, called for a more ethical approach. I found myself at the center of this ideological battle, torn between my duty to my planet and my conviction that we must not repeat the Iridians' past mistakes. My meetings with Earth's leaders were tense, with me advocating for a partnership based on mutual respect and shared goals. This period was a test of my resolve. I faced scrutiny from my superiors and the media, and there were moments when I doubted the impact of my actions. But each time I reminded myself of the Iridians' journey to harmony, and it strengthened my resolve. As the chapter closed, Earth was at a crossroads. The choice was not just about how to interact with the Iridians, but also about what kind of civilization we wanted to be. For me, Alex, it was clear. I would continue to advocate for a path of cooperation and mutual respect, hoping to bridge the gap between two worlds with vastly different histories, but a shared destiny in the stars.